I know.
Today we didn't know of anyone coming, or here's an agenda for each of you if you want.
Thank you.
I'll call the meeting to order. Okay. And we have the meeting minutes. Guys. We have a motion for the minutes.
That would be accepted. I second it.
And the RPCs, we have copies for you guys to sign off on. Okay, so we have two lists that results came out for. First one is Deputy Superintendent. We only had one person take it, and that was our provisional deputy. And then we also have a new list for Benefits Account Clerk, which is the title that's in my office. And Liz Johnson was provisional on that, and she got 100, so yeah, good for her. All right, for job descriptions, we have an amendment for clerk, which really is an amendment. I mean, the only thing that's different about it is the format of it, because as these come up, I try to format them so that they're more current with what we have today. But we're also creating a clerk Spanish speaking because of the need for it in City Hall, especially with the municipal IDs now in place. I mean, we've always needed it because of birth certificates. So that one's just the regular clerk, and this one is the Spanish speaking.
Need to be signed?
Yeah, just initialed and top.
Same thing, just digital.
Yeah.
Let's stay with this is the Spanish one.
sorry, I see a mistake on my agenda. I forgot to change that new position duty statement for assistant school lunch director. That was last month. Let me disregard that. So the next two, we received a new position duty statement for a safety administrator. I did the comparison between the what was being requested and what we currently have as safety officer. It was very similar, but what I've found with the safety officer position is it is extremely hard to fill. It's extremely hard to find anyone who meets the qualifications on it. In our rules, safety officer is non-competitive as long as it's part-time. It was a part-time position up until the person that just retired was hired. She had offered some input when we had amended the job spec years ago, back in 2013. And basically at that time, it appeared that it was being kind of based on the certifications and everything she had. And that's hard to find. And now she's retired and we don't have anyone. I've offered this exam twice. The first time was when she had to take it because once we made it full time, it's competitive and it's a tested position. She was the only person that signed up and took the test. The last time I offered it, which was last fall, we had 0 people put in for it. We've advertised it. It's been advertised online. It's been on Indeed. It's been posted in our buildings. We've had 0 people inquire about it, apply for it, do anything. And in talking to other agencies across the state, this is a very hard position to fill because of the qualifications. Typically, no one has them. So based on the new position duty statement that I received and in talking to the deputy superintendent as to what they're looking for, I'm putting in to amend the minimum qualifications on the safety officer to make it not quite so difficult, in hopes that we'll find someone who can do this. So basically now we've changed it to high school education, a 4-year college degree, and 1 year full-time paid experience in a position responsible for overseeing or inspecting a program utilizing established standards, or graduation from college with a 2-year associate's degree and 3 years full-time paid experience, or 5 years experience as outlined in A and B. I've also added a note that paid part-time work may count towards the work experience where 2 years part-time work equals 1 year full-time, because again, a lot of times I find that people have part-time jobs doing this. They may not have full-time. And then the requirement to just have a Class B CDL. This is for the safety officer, which is currently a title that's in CSEA contract. And then I created a safety officer coordinator position, which would be a lower level title, more of an entry level position. Because the person who retired put a lot of the stuff into place and created these manuals, we could hire someone in, a lower pay, maybe not having all of the education yet, but they can learn it. I know the incumbent went to a lot of trainings. I've researched online. There's a lot of stuff online where you can go on. There's manuals and they can read it and learn it. This one would require graduation from high school or GED, and either graduation from a 2-year college with an associate's degree with 1 year experience, which shall involve responsibility for the administration, training, coordination, or enforcement of job safety regulations, or 3 years experience as outlined in A above. Education may be substituted for experience on a year-to-year basis, meaning someone comes in with a bachelor's degree, they don't necessarily have to have the experience. They come in with 3 years of college, they would qualify without having the experience. And then this, I put that they must obtain their Class B CDL within 6 months. Generally, that's something that the union looks towards because then at least they can get it while they're on the job. And I think for entry level minimum, that hopefully would entice more people.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you advertise this position in competitive employment amount, monetary figures?
We don't
Because
have anything to do with salaries in this.
in salaries, but how do you know when you're advertising this position? How do you know how much I'm going to get paid if I want to apply for this position?
Well, it's in the union contract.
It's in the union contract. It's another question is that I was in construction for 40 years. We never had any problem acquiring a safety officer on any construction site at all. I mean, you're having a problem, like what I hear you saying, you're having a problem advertising and acquiring people interested in this position. Maybe you should advertise some more before you make a move to create another position to overlay this position.
Well, this has been going on for
You have
years.
2 people doing the same job.
Well, no, we probably won't fill 2.
You're going to fill both of these positions.
No, I doubt it, because we don't have anyone inquiring.
Well, you haven't really advertised aggressively, maybe, and perhaps, because we never had any problem filling it. 40 years in construction in New York City, we never, ever had a problem. That was a sought after position. People wanted this job. Okay?
We do not find that in
When you're
Kingston.
saying that, you're saying it, I think you should advertise some more before you should make a move to create another position, a burden on the taxpayers, okay? Which we have enough burden already. We've been assessed for 10% assessment on our taxes already.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop you right there, because that's not what we're here for.
No, we're
We
here-
just create the position, whether or not they get filled,
Maybe you
has
should
nothing to do with
table
our
this position
department.
until you can aggressively advertise the original.
But that's not, we're just creating a title. Whether anything happens to it has nothing to do with us.
Can I rephrase this question? Was the salary that's in the union contract in the advertisement?
Yes,
That's what
it always is.
And where was it advertised?
It's on the website, there was a posting sent out on Facebook, it's on Indeed, it gets sent out to the schools.
It's on the city website.
Yes.
So it wasn't like in the Freeman Help Wanted or anything else?
We put it on online, I don't advertise it
Online,
for
many
free.
people use online, but there is an advertisement avenue that they use for these positions, and it's professional advertisement, where professionals, like you're looking for a professional, would look for this position.
Okay, and at the same time, you're talking about the burden of expenses. My
Well,
office
no.
doesn't always have the funding available for that, so that would come from
What
the
do you mean,
individual
but-
departments. I don't have
Well, you-
funding available to pay for a Freeman ad.
You don't
They
have-
don't know.
Well,
I'm limited with $500 and
you
that
can get
doesn't
funding
cover.
because the fund balance has in excess of $1 million in the fund balance, so there's not a question.
Okay, but again, this has nothing to do with civil
our
service and what we're
office,
here for in this
Request the
meeting.
money to advertise this position.
Anyways, I think the reason we're here is because, well, Joe's a candidate for public office in the 3rd Ward. I'm a journalist, and I'm here because it's my understanding that this is a nepotism story.
Why would that be? We have notoriously had a difficult time filling this position. In the past, the 2 previous people were retired Kingston employees. And then when we finally got Diane Berquist, she came from the county and had all the requirements needed for the job, and so we were able to make it full-time.
Yeah, well, I'm not, accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying, that.
I've been on it for 20 years, and this is a notoriously hard position. More than
I
20.
just, that's what I've been told. That's why I'm here. And
Yeah, but
Now, I've researched it with other agencies across the state, and the major response has been that it's a very difficult one to fill.
well, you're saying it's made you difficult to fill. I find it difficult to accept that. You should try it even harder, because when I go to council meetings and the councilman says that this intersection here is the most dangerous intersection in Kingston, he's not telling the truth. Because I have the DEC, the DEP's reports from the county here and there, that it's the least prone intersection for accidents. Okay? Okay, this is what I'm up against at council. So over here, I think you should make a concerted and more of an effort to fill this position before you create another position.
Okay, and we can do that, but that doesn't,
You can do that.
us making a title doesn't mean it's being filled. We're not saying we have the funding, we're not doing anything,
You're
we're just
opening
making
up
a
the
position.
door. You're creating the title, okay? The mayor can come along and create the position.
Yeah, and another mayor can come along and abolish
So if
it.
you don't do that, if you table it because this is an election year and there's a lot of people running for office, and I'm concerned with being overtaxed. And I assure you that the city, the mayor, and John Tui cooked up the 2017 budget and the 2018 budget to end up with $3.5 million in surplus in the budget. Okay? This is a fact. And to hide it, they put it into the non-aligned fund balance and sat on it for a year.
Okay, that,
Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with
When she says she hasn't got the money, it's not true because they have plenty of money to buy the chicken wing place for $500,000 without making a loan. They really
Okay,
advertise.
again, we're trying to focus on,
they weren't budgeted.
Well, they can request a budget transfer.
Okay, well, you know,
Right?
or you can have the agent, you can have each
I'm
department
not,
pay for
I'm
that.
not
That's
here to
not what we're,
argue budgets or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
here
really have
because-
nothing to do with that. This
All
is
right.
civil
No,
service.
but you could create a budget transfer.
I'm here because I heard that the mayor's wife is interested in this job and that the
and I have not heard that. I know that
Oh, no.
there may have been inquiry, but this was strictly done with my dealings with the deputy superintendent and the superintendent.
I believe you ought to try to make an aggressive move to try to fill this position, request funds from your council out of the fund balance, because there's plenty of money there, asking for a budget transfer to do this, and table the creation of the position until the first of the year.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
No?
well,
I don't believe they wish to do that. It's a title, and it's, like I said, I've done my research, and I've asked other agency, and we have been dealing with this for years,
You can
so
table this.
just because it's an election year does not mean we're gonna change our,
And they can table this position, you know.
they could, but
They could.
she's saying no.
I don't know. I don't believe that that's necessary personally, because we can't even get one person.
Why don't you believe that?
Do you believe the same thing, ladies? I don't want to be the only one.
No, but, no, yeah, I want to ask you, why do you believe it's not necessary?
Because we're not going to end up with it with any sort of person. I've been on this thing for years. It's she has.
Well,
We've done it every
but
year.
I'm saying the
It's very
same thing.
difficult.
My councilman says that intersection is the worst intersection. She's saying that you can't fill this position. I think you didn't try hard enough. And I didn't think you tried in the avenues where these professional positions are advertised.
And that's your opinion, and
And you said
You're allowed to have your opinion,
you
but-
haven't got the money to do it, and I'm saying you can request a budget transfer to get the money to do it.
And we're also looking at long-term and the idea of opening it up to someone who wants to come into an entry-level job, learn this and move up,
And you
then,
said the job is part-time, so it's not open to.
no, I didn't say it was part-time. I said it used to be part-time.
Which job is part-time?
Safety officer was part-time until Diane Berquist was hired.
Well,
And she was
I
made
can see the
full-time.
way this is going. You've made up your minds already to create this position. Okay? Regardless of what it's going to
Okay,
cost.
we made up our mind to create a job description. We don't have any say in what gets filled or what they do. We are
Once you
creating a job
created the
description.
description, you created a job.
No, we don't, because if there isn't funding for it, there isn't funding.
Oh,
And that is not what we're here for.
Like I said, there's plenty of money in the fund balance.
That's not
So
what we
just go to
do.
the Fund balance and get the money to
There's
fill
nothing
this
to do with
position. This is just an avenue for the mayor to fill this position.
Okay, so you need to understand our role, and our role is strictly to create positions when we are requested to do it. We weren't requested to create
requested you
a
to-
coordinator. We did it based on the fact of what we've experienced with difficulty recruiting it.
You see-
We were asked to change a safety officer position to a safety administrator at a lower grade.
You're
We
back.
did not do that.
You're back to the difficulty of filling the position when I'm saying to you that you're probably not advertising in the right.
And I hear what you're saying, I do.
And I hear what you're
However, I've
saying.
been doing this job since 2006, and I'm aware of the difficulty we have, and you may not be aware of it.
What?
So we're telling you,
filling the
the
position.
difficulty in filling it.
Well,
You're based on,
There again, I cannot accept that because I can't accept the councilman telling me an intersection is the worst intersection anyway.
That's always, it depends on what intersections you're, everybody has their own. You talking about maybe Grand Street over here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I put in for that, I knew you said that. I sit there, my partner comes in with a walker, and I sit there and those cars fly up there. Come and
It's a
sit
matter
and
of
watch.
enforcement. They don't enforce that right turn after 9 o'clock. They make that
Those
right turn.
signs, I wondered, those signs are immeasurable to me. 2 people almost got hit there.
Yeah.
It is treacherous, coming in this way,
Then how come
Prince
the
Street.
report from the county says it's the least prone intersection?
lots of luck. Come and sit in my salon for a day, and you'll see how it is, especially with the new paving.
Well,
They
have the
fly,
facts. I'm not going to
they
go against
fly,
that.
they fly.
but again, that
That has nothing to do with
that's what
anything,
we're
right?
here for, so-
Safety is very important, though.
Yes.
Safety is very important, so.
And I also think it's important to give an avenue for local people to, I think it's important for local people to have the opportunity to get in on an entry level and move up, which is the reason I created the coordinator position. Because a lot of times, it's just like with electrician, that is another very difficult position to fill. People don't have the minimum requirements to fill it. We used to have a trainee position for it, where someone could come in, learn it, be underneath an electrician. We no longer have that. So this is a start
A start for what? You're going
to having someone come in to learn it and be here for a long period of time.
And you're going to have two positions that'll be.
No, that is not what it's saying. They can opt to fill the coordinator and not the safety officer. There's nothing in these job descriptions that says we have to have both.
Why don't you just eliminate the safety officer? Why don't you take that out?
Because we may not have people that have that
Well,
qualification.
you need those qualifications. Don't you?
Yes, we do.
You do.
But we didn't need what Diane Berquist had because it's not
Well, okay,
feasible.
You're going to create this position, and there's nothing we can say.
Again, I'm sorry, you
There's
keep saying
nothing-
we're creating the position. We are not creating a position. We are creating a job description to be
Creating a
used
job
if they
description
want to use it.
With an avenue to create the position.
Yes, that is it.
Okay.
We have no
So,
say in whether or not it gets
I
adopted
say that
or
your lines are
filled.
made up, and you're going to do this, and that's that. That's all.
Yeah, because it's a good position to have. And that's our
And
stand
I'll
on
probably
it.
entertain this here argument on the council floor.
Go ahead. If they ever decide to fill it, that's when you would do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I
but
would.
this is not what we're doing. We're not asking them to fill it.
Right, nothing to do with that.
But you're going to create
Yes,
the
'cause
position.
that's what our job
that
is.
can be filled.
Because that's what our position
And will
is.
be filled.
That I don't know.
Yeah. Then
We have a lot of titles that aren't filled.
Then why create the position if you don't know it's going to be
It's
filled?
not costing anything to create a position.
I mean, to create the, what do you call it, the avenue to the position. Okay? Then why do that if you're not going to be sure it's going to be filled? You got another one that you're sure you can't be filled, and I'm saying you haven't advertised aggressively enough, and you haven't advertised in the proper places for the position.
And I appreciate the
In
feedback on
construction,
that, and
they
I
have
will
a
look
book.
into it.
A book with positions, and these professionals go through these books looking for jobs. Okay?
Well, they're not looking around here apparently, because we haven't heard from any of them.
Advertising it again,
So-
advertise the right position, right place.
Why don't we move forward? You guys
Yeah,
can make
move
your
forward.
decision.
Go ahead.
Girls, do we agree on sending both these up, ladies?
So I'm concerned with my taxes, okay? My taxes.
Oh,
have
believe
gone
me, I
up,
am too. I live in the city of Kingston.
As well as I do.
Okay,
And unfortunately, we don't have say in what gets filled.
okay, we'll see what happens to this position within the next 6 months. Okay? And then I'll be back at the table.
Again, we don't have anything to do with that.
Okay.
You should understand civil service and how that works.
Nothing to do with
And
it.
our main job is just creating job descriptions, and that's what we're doing. And making sure that they're followed and if they are filled, they're filled according to civil service law.
Good job.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
My name is Robbie Walters.
He was at one of our meetings. You've been at one or two of our meetings, I believe.
I don't
don't
went to a
think
Civil
so.
Service Commission
No?
meeting, but
Okay.
I was working for another news agency, and basically every time I get too close to any wrongdoing in City Hall, I get they get some blowback coming, right? So I'm not here to make anyone feel uncomfortable, and
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm sorry if Joe made you feel uncomfortable with this argument, but this is obviously a political story. I mean, Joe's wife is running against the mayor, so,
Right.
One thing, we're not,
we don't
nothing
wanna-
to do with that.
I don't want to have, you guys aren't going to be in any subject of this. It's just the idea of the
Right.
position.
and I understand that, believe me. I mean, we see the things that
And I
happen,
really think
but
that needs to be done. I mean, someone should come down every month and cover this commission because it's important. Some of these things are important.
Yeah.
Sometimes
We're
these
always
things
open to that.
get into the, they get into the news. Like I remember the Freeman ran a story that said you're looking for a DPW commissioner, right? And it became a news story just because they were looking for one. And the old guy, what was his name, Shuck or
In
something?
the minutes from the 24th, June 24th, are not posted.
The old DPW guy retired, and then they were like, well, who's going to be the new guy? And it actually became a news story.
Are not posted where? He's asking where the minutes.
Yeah, the minutes aren't posted online.
well, they used to go on, unfortunately, I mean, I can put them on they would be on ours.
And you got a time up here, 9:30, and the time down here, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock is for this meeting, 9:30 was the last one, we changed it
We may
because
change
someone had to be
it forward.
someplace. What?
So
That's really
unfortunately,
very.
that's Granicus, and I can't change that. I changed it to say that it was at 9, and it was changed to 9.
Right.
And you showed up on time, so.
Yeah,
Here
we
we
were here,
were.
everybody was here. Today it's usually 9:30. I think you have to be someplace, Audrey, too, or not? Or it was better for me, that I know. Maybe you?
Yeah. If there's
We don't,
nothing else.
it's usually written in stone on 9:30.
Yeah,
We happen to
it's
change
9:30.
today of all days.
Are we interested in changing it always tonight?
That's up to everyone here. It doesn't matter to me.
It's fine,
Does it work?
I thought I had to run my business today because I'm gone, but I didn't. So
Okay.
that's the only reason I
Okay.
said, which I would have had to leave by now because I had opened by
Right.
10, but I'm all good.
So
So
9 o'clock.
I was just covering myself.
So do you want it at 9? They're
Yes,
good with it? Okay.
yes, I'm fine with it. I'm up 6 o'clock every day whether I work or not.
Okay. And other than that, I mean, the appointments and the canvas, self-explanatory. Next meeting is August 26th.
That works. The only one that does not work for me is September 30th, as long as you have the quorum because I'm in
Okay.
Paris.
Okay.
I'm not back until 2 days after that, so.
September
Unless you
30th,
need to
look
change
okay.
it, but I leave on the September 21st and come back on October 1st or 2nd, I'm not sure, so I won't be here that Monday.
So August 26th is good for you?
August is fine, yeah. The 30th is 30 good for you too?
September 30th.
September 30th, I'm sorry. As long as you quorum, or you can change it to before, and I'd make it then.
The 30th is fine in September, yeah.
Okay, so you two will hold down the fort,
No.
as long as there's two
Yeah,
of
I'd
us.
rather keep it that way. 'Cause
Right,
that's when we're
okay.
giving the
Well,
police
I just
exam.
wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that both of them can make it.
Yeah.
And if you need me before, let me know.
Okay. So August 10th, we're doing the physical agility for police.
So that works good for them, right?
And then September 14th will be the written exam. And we're joining forces with the county on that.
Well, that's good.
Because since they're both giving it and they lowered their minimum quals to match, well, they didn't lower them to match us, but they now match ours.
Yours, yeah.
So they're afraid they're going to have a really big turnout. And I had already reserved the high school, so I think they're going to be giving part of theirs out to community college and part of it here. I'm not sure how they're doing that, but they've asked us to help them out.
Yeah, all the other dates work.
Okay. All
So
right.
it's going to be at 9 o'clock instead of 9:30, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll change every occurrence to 9 o'clock on Granicus, so that it's no longer 9:30. And other than that,
Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn?
We'll see you again someday.
Okay, thank you.